Hello and welcome to Quaint and Cozy KC. We're on season 2. This is episode number 8. Can you believe it, you guys? It's episode number 8. And last week I had Abby on, and she is from NKC Pilates LLC, and she talked to us about her business and then the quaint and cozy things that she likes to do around Kansas City. And thank you guys so much for supporting that episode. And this week I'm back. What? I was, during that little hiatus, I was back. I was strolling the quaint and cozy streets of Kansas City metro area. And so I got a little catching up to do with you guys. So when I, in my absence, what did I do last Saturday? Well, I went to the Gladstone Farmers Market for just like a little bit, because my real aim was going to there was like a sunflower. The Akin Johnson farm has like their sunflower field up, and they're going to have their festival, I think, on August 17th there. And so they kind of had opened it up for people to come and pick sunflowers, or they had bouquets that you could buy pre-assembled, and that's the route I did. But they did let you go to the field and take selfies and take pictures, and that's what I did. So go to Quaint and Cozy KC if you want to see that. And then also I did post it on my Quaint and Cozy KC TikTok and on Facebook. You can check that out. That's where I'm going to do a majority of my pictures, on TikTok and Facebook, and some on Instagram. It's just kind of easier to kind of keep track of everything. When I try to load a lot of stuff up on my blog, I'm like, I can't keep track of what I already kind of have posted and everything. And so I try to keep my content, somewhat unique. So you're not like, oh, look, it's the same pictures on all her platforms. I try to change it up just a little bit. So I went to that. It was a lot of fun. It was hot, but it was a lot of fun. And then before that, though, I went to the QCK Farmers Market in downtown QCK. And oh my gosh, you guys. Now, I've been to downtown QCK before, but I'd never been to the farmers market there. And it was such a cute, like a really cute and cool experience. I almost didn't make that word there. Like it was just a total vibe. Like they were playing old school R&B music, and there was just people from all different walks of life. And I do have someone that I'm planning to interview for, a couple of people that I'm going to reach out for interviews. I talked to them. They're very interested for my Aunt Lainey's Kitchen podcast. They're very interested. I'm being featured on that. So we will see. I'm pretty excited about that. And then I also, after I was kind of going down there, and then I went to the sunflower market, and then I just kind of last week, I think I just chilled out, kind of after that. And then, it was kind of like just getting things together, because I was wrapping up a job, because and then I'm starting up a new contract pretty soon. And so, I was just kind of getting all that stuff ready. And anytime I kind of I space my jobs, so I can have maybe a week to get other things done around my house. And so I'm actually doing that right now. Hello, I think I'm saying it right, Lisa Renee. I'm Lainey Renee. Nice to meet you. And so that's kind of what I kind of did last weekend. I just tried to keep it mellow. Of course, I did cook and everything. My allergies were just flaring up so badly last weekend. A lot of people I talked to had the same issues, because, there was all that rain, and then everyone's mowing, and then you're trying to walk outside and you're like, oh my gosh, my face is swelling up and all that stuff. So that was kind of dramatic. And that's why I was unable to, do a cooking video, because I didn't know if I was going to make it. I think if you guys would have saw me, you would have been like, I think she should just sit down and do takeout. But I managed to get through it and everything. And I kept everything really simple last week. It was very, very, very simple. And so, it was just one of those things where you're trying to do everything, and you're just like, wow, I feel like I'm trying to do all this stuff, and yet I'm failing at all the stuff I'm trying to do. It was kind of a low energy weekend last weekend, but guess what? It was a new week, and that I kind of went into, and there's so many things to talk about. So I'll start with, earlier this week, I went to Palacio. Well, I want to say it the Spanish way, the from Spain. I want to be like Palacio, but it's, Palacio, Maya. And it's in Gladstone, and it's where the old Tanners used to be. It's so good, beautiful inside. We weren't able to get a lot of pictures. We're going to go back, and this review, I'm going to do, a quick bite on my Quaint and Cozy KC blog. But I want to tell you that one of the things I loved about it, it's one of those places where you walk in, it's very unassuming. It's like a strip mall. You're like, okay, I'm going to You guys, you walk in, it is beautiful. It is so beautiful, so ornate. But it's not ornate in that way where you feel like, oh, I'm underdressed. It's kind of like, it feels like vacation eating. You walk in there, you feel like you're in Mexico, right? You feel like you're no longer in Gladstone, Missouri. You're someplace else. It's one of those nice places to go for lunch or for like a date night or something like that. And you meet, and just the vibe was so welcoming and very mellow, and the food was delicious and very reasonably priced. We like that in this economy. And so I definitely would stop back by there. Palacio Maya, very good restaurant, great service, all of it. And then today I went to the Leavenworth Farmers Market. It's in downtown Leavenworth, and oh my gosh, now I haven't been to Leavenworth in a minute, right? I want to say it's been a couple of years maybe since I've been to Leavenworth. And so I actually stopped and walked around downtown. They had some kind of little festival going on also with the farmers market. I ended up going to that first by accident because I was walking around because I saw all these cool like places, these cute little restaurants and all the brick and all that downtown Main Street kind of thing. And so I was like kind of entranced with it. So I just walked for blocks, and then I'm like, oh wait, I think I'm supposed to go to the farmers market. So I ended up going, walking back towards the end and doing the farmers market, but it was really hot outside. And I'd already been walking for a couple of hours, so I didn't last too long at the actual farmers market. I did get some pictures. What I really appreciated about it, that it's bustling. Downtown Leavenworth on a Saturday in the summertime, bustling. And I started thinking, it's a great place. It was a little too hot today to kind of slowly stroll around, but it's a great place for like early fall. This would be a nice like late September to maybe early November kind of walking around. And I bet you even at Christmas time, I bet you that it's super decorated and it's super cute and cozy and all that stuff. And so again, downtown Leavenworth for the win. Go down there on a Saturday morning. They had a lot of coffee shops down there and some breakfast places and some lunch places. I was thinking about it. I was like, well, this farmer's market there opens at 7 a.m. So you could go down for breakfast, kind of putter around, go to the farmer's market. And then if you want to kind of walk around the streets, a lot of the shops I noticed didn't open till 10 or 11. But at the same time, if you just kind of want to see cool bricks and all that stuff, it's a great place to walk around, at the morning time. And it's just super quaint and cozy, definitely. And I'm going to be posting up pictures on my Quaint and Cozy KC Facebook this weekend. And then also I'll do like, I do like my TikToks with the photos. You can kind of like scroll through there. Okay, and so now I've got some really good news. Basement Books is finally opened. It's in downtown Liberty in the square. So excited for this. Downtown Liberty is super cute and it's super quaint. It's got that square and it needs a bookstore. I'm telling you, should be the law that cute little areas like that have to have a bookstore, right? And this bookstore is going to be there, and it's going to have hours. I think it's going to be open on the weekdays from like noon to 8. And then on Saturdays, it's going to be like from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., which is perfect. I think Sundays is going to be events only. And I think Mondays it's closed. I want to say it's closed, but don't quote me on that. But definitely go check out Basement Books. Go on their Facebook page and check them out. They've got the hours posted. I'm excited because there's a lot of businesses down there. I noticed that with downtown Liberty, there's a lot of like breakfast and luncheonette places, and they close at 2 o'clock. And then you've got like, a couple of places there that are open, for lunch and, some dinner things. But I think having a bookstore down there, because I know there are going to be events down there, it's going to bring more life there, definitely. And there's, the museums that are down there. And actually, I think Clay County Museum is having something, I think the third Thursday this month. And it's going to be someone giving a lecture about the Civil War, giving like a talk on that. And that's very interesting history, obviously, to me, but I love museums when they do those talks and lectures and people get to kind of come out and hear them, especially now in 2024, we can actually come outside again, which is exciting. So I was thinking about going to that, but I have a lot going on, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make that one, but definitely keep that in mind. And, I was talking to some friends and they're like, maybe you could do more structure with your podcast, because you start talking and then you've got these segments and they're kind of loosey-goosey, and I'm going to do that. That is literally on my list right now. I'm just kind of trying to get a feel for it and everything, because there's always so much going on when you delve into the quaint and cozy world. Before I got into this world here, because I was definitely quaint and cozy vibes every other place I lived. For some reason, Kansas City, I was like, there's nothing quaint and cozy going on here. I was wrong. I can admit that. But now that I'm kind of in that world, there's so much going on, so many things. When you get into like the bookshop, museum, tea shop, there's some, tea shops all around, all that kind of world. There's so many activities like swirling down. You literally go down the rabbit hole with that. So my segments and all that stuff, I'm like, how am I going to organize it? There's just so much going on. I don't want to miss anything. Okay. Now, I have been using my farmer's market pass. Today, I forgot to use it for Leavenworth. It's got considered a regional market, so they don't have a designation in here, but I could, get my stamp and that would count as a stamp. But I was able to get my stamp last week at QCK. And you guys, when I tell you that the person running that information booth was excited, I got 3 stamps. And it's August, so I gotta hustle on these stamps here. But she was so excited that I had brought my passport. She's like, oh my gosh, it was like being on The Price is Right. Sorry, I'm just geeking out about this. Now, Aunt Lainey's Kitchen, that's my other podcast, my other blog, and I mainly just post on that blog to talk about the upcoming episodes. I have been interviewing people up like a storm, and I've got more people that I'm going to be interviewing, and I'm so excited. And I think I have a slot that I'm going to be on KKFI, I think towards the end of the month. So I'm getting that kind of together, and I'm getting better at editing, because, I've used Audacity for years, and then I stopped using it. And some things have changed since I last used it. So I'm trying to like re-navigate and figure all that stuff out, but I've been talking to some great people. Last night, I was able to interview Mike Rand, and he is a home cook in the Kansas City area. And it was really interesting because, I said with Aunt Lainey's Kitchen, I want to talk to people who are food related. I'll talk to chefs, but I really want to talk to regular home cook people, regular creators. I want to talk to, people that are just doing it on whatever scale and level, they're doing it. And then I have a friend, Christy C, and she was actually the inspiration for me to kind of delve into this quaint and cozy lifestyle thing. And because she was living that life, and she inspired me to start my blog, and then obviously to start the podcast to go with the blog, but then to do Aunt Lainey's Kitchen. So I had to talk to her, and we have probably the longest interview that I have. It's almost an hour, but it keeps moving. The interview does not kind of slow down. I am somebody who I appreciate a podcast that's like, I can do 45 minutes to an hour, but it's got to keep moving. I can't have it where it just starts going, it gets all the way to like 35 minutes, and then the energy just kind of goes down, and you're just like, oh my gosh, is this over yet? Is this over yet? This podcast, that episode is not going to be it. Then I talked to Amanda West, Let's Dine Local, and that was a great conversation. And I was talking to her, I'm like, we need to do this again. And I've got some ideas for like doing panels on certain things, like, hey, tell me about, what you're doing for your date night restaurants, your top 3 date night restaurants, having a few people on there talking about that, getting that food energy. I love those kind of podcast shows and those panel shows. And so, yeah, that's something that's kind of in the works, working, talking to all my guests, and they've all kind of said, I could come in on a panel show and just kind of give, some opinions. And it wouldn't be one of those panel shows where it's like 2 hours, because it's a little too long. But I'm like, we could probably do this for 45 minutes. Everybody kind of goes around the table and gives their top 3. And then, we just kind of vibe from there. And then I'm going through my list because so much has happened. My friends and I were talking about how we're not going to the movies anymore. And I'm like, I love going to the movies. I used to work in the film industry, and I really, want to support the movies, but I just haven't had a chance with all the activities going on. By the time I get home on weekends, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have to go out again? And so tonight I'm going to actually go see Deadpool and Wolverine, or Wolverine and Deadpool, whatever that is, the latest Deadpool movie. I'm actually going to go out and see, and I'm pretty excited to go see it because I haven't been in the movies in a while. Because again, when you're kind of like, writing and talking to people and whatever, sometimes that kind of stuff kind of goes away, and you kind of forget to go and do that and make a space for it. So I'm definitely going to do that. Last week I had a pool party as well, and so that kind of, when I was working on my stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do this filming really quick. But, my allergies were kind of like taking me down. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this pool party starting at noon. I thought it started at 2. And anyways, hilarity ensued. And then, so I was able to kind of sit outside and relax a little bit last Sunday. But yeah, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I only have a couple more weeks with my taste tester, then I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna get another taste tester. I'm gonna figure out, the other things that I need to work on. I'm probably going to, I was going back and forth with my sister about this, but I'm probably going to, work on another kind of genre of food. And then I'm going to get a taste tester after I've been kind of perfecting that genre of food. And I just have to figure out which genre that is going to be, and then kind of go with it. I'm kind of leaning towards kind of like heavier comfort food, but with kind of like a twist. So we'll see what I'm able to figure out. I always have lists and lists, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I'll get another idea, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add this on. I'm going to do a little twist right there. So it's going to be very interesting when I figure out, how I am going to do this. Now this weekend coming up, because I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to film my show. It might be a little bit later on Saturday, but I'm actually planning on, Julia Quinn is in town. She wrote the Bridgerton series. She's going to be in town, and I registered because my best friend is looking to start a podcast about, Bridgerton and all the things she loves to read, and I'm so excited for her. And we've been talking about it, and then I happened to look, because I'm always looking, and here's a pro tip for you Quaint and Cozy lifestylers. The public library, you guys, 2024, they are popping off on events. When I was growing up, the public library, they would have lectures on, historical stuff, which is great. It was interesting. Local history, okay, fine. Or they would show like old movies on Friday nights or something like that, or Sunday afternoons. But now the public library is doing all the things, okay? All the things. And so one of the local branches is having her come in as part of a romance writers con that's here. Like they're doing like this festival, I think next Thursday, Friday, which I'm gonna do Friday. And then Saturday, Julia Quinn's going to be speaking, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so much. I would do more, but I have so much to do before my new job starts, and I'm like, I don't have 3 days just to be doing a romance con or anything like that. And because that's one of the things that I'm working on. I had some goals for 2020, and I've hit all of them except for 2. And that romance thing, I did the NaNoWriMo last year with November, where you just write, and I was actually able to finish a very rough draft of something. And so that was like one of my goals, but I want to, in 2025, have my series started, have it published on Amazon Kindle. And I thought, you know what, let's get around people that do that stuff, because I'm in the groups and whatever, but sometimes being around people like one-on-one and talking to them and kind of, getting like that vibe from them, it's a lot easier to kind of pick it back up again and go. Okay, and then I'm going to Hosier, I think his name is Hosier, on next Friday, and I am so excited for that. I happened to, like, the tickets just happened to fall into my hand, and the girl I'm going with is like, girl, it's gonna be really hot, and you can only take like one unopened bottle of water. I'm like, totally fine. I can make it. I'm a kid of the 80s. I'm gonna be okay. But I'm really excited to go. I cannot wait to go. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm just really excited. And I've got my comfortable shoes ready to go, and so yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, so now I'm saying all of that, and I'm just hoping that you guys, because I've gotten some really good feedback on this podcast, and please, leave a review. Give it whatever stars you think it should have. People say leave a 5-star review, but if you don't think it's 5 stars, don't leave that 5-star review. Like, be honest with me. We're all a work in progress, and I do like your lovely notes that you have sent me. And so, again, I am very excited to be in Kansas City right now. There's so many things going on here, and I was talking to one of the people I was interviewing for Aunt Lainey's Kitchen about kind of my goals for this whole kind of Quaint and Cozy thing. Aunt Lainey's Kitchen, and I said, my goal is to find somebody to replace me. And when I say replace me, I mean, I want there to be so many of these Quaint and Cozy like podcasts, and so many food podcasts that are Kansas City centric, that there's no need for me to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here because I saw there was like a lack of this in, this in Kansas City. Yes, there's Jasper's podcast, a great podcast. KCR does something like once a month with food. And, there's other kind of things that pop up and whatever. But for me, I'm like, I'm not going to be satisfied until we have like 5 or 6 people where I can go, okay, on Tuesdays I listen to this. So I can have a full slate of Kansas City podcasts, food related, Quaint and Cozy KC kind of podcasts to listen to. That is my goal. I know that sounds kind of like crazy because it's like, wait, wouldn't you just want to be the only or the best? No, my goal is that everybody comes to the table and, puts forth their best kind of food podcast, their best kind of Quaint and Cozy kind of like podcast, because I want to listen and I'm always down to learn about things. That's just kind of my style. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. I will see you tomorrow. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be cooking, but it's shelf cooking. So it's kind of whatever I have on my shelf. I've got some ideas about what I want to do. And, I think my taste tester is always like, well, it's always a surprise when you show up with the food. But so far I'm getting some pretty good marks on my food and some really important kind of critiques. And so I'm taking it all in and making notes and everything like that. And I know that in the next maybe couple years, I'll be able to have a cookbook out as well. Okay? Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend and be safe. Bye.